My name is Bonnie Heatland, and I'm here at the Erskine family reunion, which David Erskine and Kathy Rouse and I tried to get together, put together. Edward, I thought I said him. Edward Erskine. And we've got a nice group here and meeting a lot of relatives that we didn't even know we had.
My name is Marilyn Louise Russell Chisholm, and my mother was Mrs. Harry Russell, and she was the daughter of Arthur Levi Erskine. Arthur Levi Erskine was born in Iowa, I believe, and he had 4 or 5 brothers, and they all lived on farms. And he had a farm, and he lost his farm during the Depression. And he moved to Idaho, and he purchased a dairy farm, and he lived in Idaho for 45 years, I think. He was, in 3 months, going to be 100. But Grandma fell down, and he tried to lift her up, and he did something to himself, and he died in a couple of days. As for myself, I grew up on a farm, and when I graduated high school, I taught country school with a teacher. I was 17, I think. I taught school out of high school, and I taught about 3 or 4 different schools there. And then I went up to Callaway and I taught school there. Then when I came out to California, I taught school here. And I ended up doing substitute teaching until about 6 years ago. I always loved to teach school because you learn so many words and you learned all the new fads and all whatever was going on in the world, you knew it among the kids. It was just so interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. And I came out here to California and I got a boyfriend, so I never went back. And I got married. I got married to Henry Chisholm, and I had 3 children. And my eldest is Bruce, and he's an electrical engineer, and he works for a company that does secret work for the government. And they try to keep it secret by only giving you a little bit of the job, and you don't know what you're making. You're just given instructions. But he really loves it. And my daughter is a registered nurse, and she's taken a lot of work in different types of nursing. And she works for the federal government, the Veterans Hospital. It's about 50 miles, I believe it's west of San Jose, California. And she married Bob Brandon, and she has 2 children. Bruce, my eldest, married a lady from China, and she's an RN. And always, I hate to have blood taken, and it just irritates me how they do it too. And she said that in China, they never put a strap around your arm. They always take your blood by gently feeling where the vein is. And people who take blood don't believe that. They said, oh, that's not true. That's not true, but it is true. And they have two children. Their eldest is 15, and their daughter, I think, is 12. She may be 13. And then there's Bob, who came with me, and he married a lady from Mexico. And he has 3 children, and his eldest child is 16. And my youngest son, Robert, is extremely interested in Boy Scouts. He has been since he was a little kid. And he has all these, when he was in high school, he used to take scouts by car. They always needed an extra car to carry their stuff, and he often had a truck. And so he was always working for the Boy Scouts on the weekend. And he's still working for the Boy Scouts. And his son is, what do you call that scout that's the highest? Eagle. Yeah, his son got Eagle. His second son is working for Eagle. And I don't know whether his daughter is or not. His daughter's extremely interested in soccer. She wants to be a professional soccer player. And she is good, and she's just a little girl too. And myself, what am I interested in? I'm interested exceedingly in photography. When I was in college, I took photography. But even before I ever got there, I was really good at taking pictures. And I don't know why I was really good, but every picture I took was good. And I just love photography. I just love to see what I can get, you know. And I like to take pictures of flowers too. And I work at church at a street kids place where they feed them and give them a bed and do whatever they can for them. And I'm very interested in that. I don't think I said that Bob worked for Sony. He's worked for Sony for 25 years. And I asked him what he did today, and he says now he is working for people if they have problems with their TV. A company having problems. That's what he works on, helping them out. And as for me, I'm still living by myself in my own house, doing my own housework, doing my own yard work. And also I forgot, I'm just super interested in swimming. And I won the Senior Olympics for 2 years now. And so I'm going back to the Senior Olympics, and I hope I'll get another gold. But I love to swim. So I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Bob Chisholm. I'm from Ramona, California. My mom is Marilyn Chisholm Russell. Her mother was Alma Erskine, daughter of Arthur Levi Erskine, who was Bonnie Heatland's uncle, if you will. And it was certainly nice to get up here and meet some Erskines. And, actually, it's probably more than I've seen beyond my immediate Erskine family in Nebraska. My great-grandfather, and my grandmother. And just having a good time. Oh, I'm married, got 3 kids down in Ramona. James, Monica, and Robert, and my wife's name is Regina. Anyways, nice talking to you.
Okay, I am Stacy Emerson Coons, and this is my family. This is my husband Shane Coons, and our son Luca Emerson Coons, and our son Gabriel Emerson Coons. And I'm an Emerson, so that means that my grandmother, Charlotte, was an Erskine who married Cecil Emerson. So that's where the Emerson came from. Charlotte is Keith and Frances Erskine's, she is Keith's sister. So she was related to Keith and Frances Erskine, who were my great aunt and uncle. And that's about as far up the family tree as I can go. So what can I tell you about our family? Shane and I have been married for 18 years, about 18 years. And Luca is not quite 6 years old. He's 5 3/4, and Gabriel is 9 months old. We've lived in Southern California for almost about 18 years. About 18 years. We live in Laguna Hills, and what else? I'm a psychologist. I work in Los Angeles and in Orange County, and Shane is a lawyer, and he works in Orange County. And Luca is a kindergarten first grader, and Gabriel is learning how to walk.
And talk. And grab the microphone. You have something to say?
And pull the power cords.
Yeah, and Gabriel likes to eat microphones. I don't know. Can you think of anything else I can tell you? Okay, is this still going? Okay. So Shane and I, about 10 years ago, started training and participating in triathlons. So we do that. We bike and we run and we swim. That takes up a huge part of our lives. I am on the sideline an amateur photographer. Luca is a basketball player and a soccer player, and Luca loves sports, and he loves to sing and dance. And swim. I don't know, what else do we do?
Gabriel wants to do all the same things and follow along.
Okay.
Wait.
What?
What?
Okay, then don't say it. Luca loves to collect stones and crystals and rocks. He's got a huge collection. That's his favorite thing to do.
So, well, let me see. Let's start with my grandfather was George Erskine, and he's the oldest of the siblings, I guess, from the first marriage. And he had my mother, Charlotte Erskine, and I'm her daughter, Miss Heather, my daughter.
That's pretty much it, right?
Let's see, I was going to say something else. Oh, I started corresponding with Chris, who is, he's actually my cousin. My mother's brother, Keith Erskine, was Chris's father. And so we kind of, after a long lapse in communication, we started emailing each other. And so we've kind of, been sharing some information about the family. And Lee and I, my husband and I, lived in Fountain Valley. Raised the girls for about 25 years. Now he's retired, so we live up in Big Bear. And it's nice to come back because she lives in Huntington Beach, so we come back and visit.
So I teach high school. I teach Spanish high school. Michelle just got married in New York. She lives in New York for now.
That's our other daughter.
And that's about it. No grandkids yet?
Yeah, she got married, and they're hoping to move back to California. I think when they have children, they don't want to live in New York, so they don't want to raise kids there.
Oh, what I'm personally into? Well, I work a lot, so besides that, I travel, I guess, I just got back from Cancun, Mexico. Because teaching, I have 180 kids, so that's pretty much all I do. So in the summer, I travel. And what do you like to do for fun? Watch old movies?
Oh, Big Bear is a wild, wild town.
Yeah.
They have a theater up there. We go to the theater now and then. My husband loves to fish. That's part of the reason we retired up there. It's, we had a place up there when the kids were little, so we used to spend every vacation up there. So, yeah. And so anyway, we just decided that's where we wanted to live, when he retired. And I like it a lot. I thought at first, the snow might bother me, for the winter, but it's pretty good. We it's really beautiful up there. So, and we had a bear in our backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. After being up there for 30 years, we finally saw a bear, and it was in our backyard.
When I was down visiting her, I missed it, but my husband called and he said we had a bear in our backyard.
My name is Karen Odell, and I am related to this family by marriage. I married Randy Emerson, who Charlotte Erskine was his mother, and Cecil Emerson was his dad. These are my children, Stacy, and Shane is my son-in-law, and these are my grandchildren, Luca and Gabriel. I am currently working at 1105 Media, and it is educational publishing. We have magazines and websites, and I do the event planning for the company for our conferences and various events. You want to jump in?
We already did our whole, we talked.
They did their whole family.
What else can you say about Nona? Nona is a gourmet cook, and she likes to feed her family very well. And she likes to entertain and throw parties. What else?
She gives surprises to me a lot.
She gives surprises to her grandson a lot.
Yeah, the highlight of my life is my grandchildren and my lovely daughter and my wonderful son-in-law.
Did you say where you live?
And I live in Irvine, California, and Chris Erskine I had not seen in years and years. Keith and Francis were Randy's aunt and uncle and played a good part in our life. They were an influence. When we were newly married, they were living in Fresno and we were living in Southern California. And I was delighted when I got the call from Bonnie to be able to be here today and to meet the rest of the Erskine side of the family that we never knew.
I'm Dan Orbsby. I'm related through my Aunt Bonnie Heatland and my mother Dorothy. They're all sisters, and Ruth Mannix. I'm retired. I live in Vista, California. I'm married and have 2 children. My son is 36 and my daughter is 39. And I have 2 great-grandchildren, Camille and Christian. These 2 right here. And my daughter that couldn't make it here today, she has 2 children, which are 11 and going on 15. Well, I buy and sell automobiles for a hobby and kind of a little extra money. And go to Palm Springs once in a while to see my friends, where we used to live, and that's about it.
My name's Dan Orsby. I'm related to this gentleman here, and this is my son Christian and my daughter Camille. He's 3 and she's 5. Oh, 8. I'm sorry. This is my wife, Krista Maria. I'm a developer in San Diego, California. That's where we live. And that's about it.
What's your hobby?
Thank you for food.
Thank you for food. And what's your name?
Christian.
Christian. And how old are you, Christian?
3.
Good. And
A little bit
what do you want to be when you grow up?
A pirate and Luke Skywalker.
A pirate and Luke Skywalker when you grow up.